Okay. Okay, I am getting set up here. Um, so let me see. Let me take a minute. All right. Author marketing. Let's go over the basics first. Um, like I say in every video thus far, that is author branding, author sales, and author marketing are all connected to one another. If you're weak in one area, it's going to affect the others. And so last week we were really trying to work on our author branding. Let's make sure that if you are not secure on your author branding today, that you get secure on that, and that you also have some clear sales goals down, because that all is going to affect your author marketing. If you don't have a brand, if you're not clear on your sales goals, it doesn't matter what you do for marketing because you're going to be all over the place. Get secure on your author brand and get secure on your author sales goals so that way you can be clear about what it is that you're marketing as an author. Um, how are you doing with your author journey? I noticed that someone said, well, how do you do a virtual book release? And so maybe later this week, I will share with you how to do that. And yeah, so just stay tuned. Y'all finished? Don't do that, please, okay? I'll let you know when I'm done. So please excuse me, that's she in the background waiting for me to turn back on the TV so that way she can watch it. But work calls. So here we are. All right. So when should you begin marketing? You should begin as soon as you are done creating your brand and right after coming up with sales goals. Again, before you proceed with your marketing, please, please, please make sure that your brand is secure and that you have sales goals in mind. So tonight we're going to go over these three areas. One, creating and meeting your marketing goals, marketing on and offline, as well as why word of mouth is the way to grow. All right, creating and meeting marketing goals. Creating and meeting marketing goals. You're going to want to take notes. These are just bullet points, and I'm going to talk about each one. And so, yeah, number one, your target market is tied to your book's genre and your category, as well as your personal message that you want to promote. So your target market, let's say I am a author who's written a book of poems. So my target market is going to include people that like poetry. Let's say on top of being a poet or a author who has published a book of poems, I also believe that literacy is important. It's an important part of education. Reading and writing are an important part of education. So these are going to be the people that I look for, when I'm creating my marketing materials. So, and also when I'm selecting my target market. So again, using the example as a poet, I'm going to look for one, people that's interested in poetry, and two, people that's interested in reading and writing, and the importance of that in education. What outlets will you use to, the second thing is what outlets will you use to reach your target market? And those outlets could be bloggers, they could be social media ads, they could be journalists, book reviewers, just different individuals, people on social media or social media in general, Amazon ads, book tours or book signings, as well as vendor table at local event. What I wholeheartedly recommend you do is when you're thinking about what outlets will you use to reach your target market, is thinking about where do people in your target market go for their news. And a lot of people go to Instagram, so that would be a good one. A lot of people go to Facebook, so that would be a good one. What else? If you're a poet, where do people go to get poems? If you're a children's book author, where do people go to get children's books? And so on and so forth. And then you want to figure out how you can market yourself there. And those are going to be your outlets. Um, the next question is, do you have a book lead generator? In more simple language, do you have a website and a email list? A website is just a good place to utilize as a hub to collect people's email addresses. And it's a good way to share just news and updates about your book. And just to keep people informed. So consider getting a website or creating a website if you don't already have one. And then the next thing to consider is, are you nurturing your 5 types of readers? There are different readers and buyers to address while marketing. They don't all have to be reached at the same time. You just need to be aware of who they are to be able to come up with ideas on how to serve them in order to create a win-win situation. And we can go over these different people further. But in a nutshell, the 5 people are the stranger, the person who just came across you somehow. This reader will look for reviews about you and your book. They will probably research you or find you via word of mouth. Your first impression with a stranger is huge. And with a stranger, it's going to take time for them to make a purchase. But you want to know that the stranger is out there and they sometimes will come across you. The second type of reader is the reader who's interested. This is someone who's thinking about purchasing a book. They may have signed up to receive a newsletter. They may show up to an event, whether live or virtual. They look at reviews as well. They also look at price and professionalism. These people who are interested in buying your book, they need a lot more encouragement to purchase. They also may be waiting for discounts or giveaways. The third kind of reader, we would consider them a warm lead. They're thinking about purchasing the book. They may have signed up to receive the newsletter. They also may show up to your event. They also look for reviews. They also look at price and professionalism, and they will need more encouraging to purchase your book. And then paying customer. This fourth reader is someone who has purchased your book. They may leave a review. They can't wait for your next book, and they interact with you in some way. So this person, the paying customer, is someone who has bought your book and who interacts with you in your comments or email or some way. They are out there and they're talking to you. And then the last reader is a super fan. A super fan is someone who has purchased a book. They have also left a review. They rave about you on social media. They might have purchased more than a book from you if you have more than a book out there. A super fan also shows up to your events, either virtual or in person. Hang on one second. Please don't do that, okay? I'm trying to do a video. Don't do that. They will message you about your book, and they would also and this is where you would also like to get all of your customers. You want all of your customers to at least one day become a super fan. And so it's just important to keep those 5 types of readers in mind when you are creating marketing content, whether it be for social media or offline. You want to keep in mind that you should create content that is encouraging. You should share reviews. You should have some sort of events for people to come to or to listen to. And also, I suggest having discounts or giveaways on your book. A great way to do a giveaway on your book is just to leave your book in places and then to take a picture of it and post that on your Instagram or wherever and say, hey, I left my book over here. Definitely, if you do something like that, make sure you tag the city, maybe leave the location, or you don't even have to do all that. You can just leave it and leave a note inside the book. Maybe, just telling the person thank you, ask them to read the book and leave a review or to message you in some way. But that's just, a little tip that I just wanted to throw in there. Okay, so marketing online and offline. What is integrated marketing? Earlier, I went ahead and posted a list of online marketing ideas as well as offline marketing ideas. Make sure that you check those out. That's going to be important. But in the meantime, let's talk about integrated marketing. Integrated marketing is combining your branding and your marketing together. So back to branding, we were talking about having brand colors. So you're going to want to use those brand colors when you're creating any type of material for your marketing. So for example, earlier I shared my media kit. Some of my brand colors on MissWin.com are green, are different shades of green, and then white. So everything that I put out under Miss Win, it's going to be green, some shade of green, and white. And so that's basically integrated marketing. You want to make sure that your appearance is the same across all platforms, including your website, your social media account, your author social media account. And yeah, that's basically integrated marketing. And then marketing for on and offline, you want to ask yourself, how do you deliver a world-class experience? You want to create content that answers that question in different ways. You also want to ask yourself, what makes you and your book different from other people? And then why will people want to purchase your book? Answering these three questions on your social media accounts or even offline is going to be helpful to get people to at least check your book out. At the end of this, I did throw in an addition, and we'll talk about how to go from people looking at you and your book to them making an actual purchase. Okay, and so third thing, word of mouth is the way to grow. Again, continue to take notes on this. I'm just going over the different bullet points. And so definitely pick up what I'm putting down, whatever you find useful for yourself. Go ahead and write that down. Pause the video if you're watching the replay. And definitely feel free to ask questions as well. So, word of mouth. What positive things have people said about you or your book? Where's your proof? What I mean by this is, can you or have you taken screenshots of any book reviews that you've gotten? Have you shared those book reviews, or do you have any? Also, do you have a team that doesn't mind sharing about your book? Do you have two, three, or just one other person that is sharing about your book? And then also a way that I've been able to use word of mouth to grow my account is I create memes on Canva. And the hashtag author memes has grown my winpublications.llc account by 50 people a week for the last few months. And basically just creating memes where I'm sharing how I, as a publisher, make my authors feel. Basically, I just go through and I answer those questions that I asked earlier, like what are the positive things people say about you. On the other slide, where was it? Yes, this one. How do you deliver a world-class experience? What makes you and your book different from others? And why will people want to purchase from you? Making memes that answer those questions is super helpful. People are also attracted to memes because they are small. Sometimes they're funny. They're informational. And people can understand it easily. So basically, word of mouth is the way to grow. If somebody tells somebody about you and your book, chances are that person that they told will check it out. They then become what we had said earlier as an interested reader. So they're going to look for reviews. They're going to look at your book's price. They're going to look at your professionalism, and they're going to look on your different platforms for encouragement and for reasons why they should buy your book. And so definitely consider that. Definitely know that if word of mouth is one of your key marketing strategies, that's the type of reader that you are probably going to come across as a reader who's interested. So what you should do is make sure that you hook that person who's interested in your book. All right, so additional information. How to convert followers into readers who will purchase your book. And this is just this is called, I believe, the sales conversion strategy. Um, First, you want to start by attracting a community that is unfamiliar with you and your book. So this is the stranger, right? You want to turn the stranger into the next type of reader, which is the one who's interested. And then the second thing that you want to do is engage those who now know you exist, right? So those who are interested, you want to engage with them, ask them questions, get them to comment, get them to leave reviews, get them to read reviews, get them to interact with you in some way. And then the third thing is going to educate those committed to making a purchase. So you know that there's a paying customer out there, or there might even be a warm lead. They're thinking about purchasing, or they have already purchased something. So you want to be as helpful with that purchase as possible. Let them know how long it will take for them to get the book. Let them know what comes with the book. Let them know how they can leave you a review or where they can leave you a review. Give them other options to leave your review than on Amazon. Let them know they can email you a review, or they can leave a review on your social media accounts, or they can mail you something to your P.O. box. Whatever. Educate those who are your warm leads or your paying customers. Those are going to be the people that you eventually move from warm lead and paying customer to super fan, because you've educated them and you've given them all the things that they needed to know. Another way to educate those committed to making a purchase is just by answering all of their frequently asked questions, and putting that information out there. Number 4 is converting customers who are ready to buy. Again, warm lead. Convert customers who are ready to buy. Make the purchasing experience easy, enjoyable, and make sure you follow through and do what you say that you're going to do. And then lastly, re-engage your core fans who have already made a purchase. Make sure you say thank you. Maybe give them something else extra with their purchase. Make sure that maybe you can share their review or share anything that they give you permission to share. Just you want to keep them engaged with you. You can maybe say, hey, if you read my book, leave an emoji or DM me, and I want to share your review or whatever. Just come up with creative ways to keep those who have purchased your book and those who have read your book engaged with you. Another way to do that also is by writing a second book and letting those people who have purchased the first book that you're writing a second book and you want to stay in touch with them. Okay, so that is the end of our author marketing basics. I hope that you have found this information to be really helpful and useful. Definitely ask any questions. On Thursday, I will be taking a break. I do have a couple author projects to work on and deadlines to meet by Friday. So we'll be back again Monday, September 21st, with more about author branding and why your brand is important to have and how it is the foundation that you build your author sales and your author marketing on. All right, until then, I will see you on Monday. Have a good week and weekend.
That was a video. What kind of video is that? Did we do a thing?
Can you be quiet?